Thank you, Jerry.
Earlier today, the House followed in the Senate's footsteps, officially approving a bill sending more than $26 billion in aid to state governments, many of whom are facing major budget shortfalls. The dollars will be used to keep teachers, cops, and firemen on the job and will replenish Medicaid funding that has seen better days. Republican Congressman Scott Garrett from New Jersey joins me live from Capitol Hill. Hello, sir. How are you today?
Well, we just saw what the difference is between the Democrats and Republicans, so maybe not a good day here.
Not a good day for
today.
you. I'm sure you voted against this. This really came down to party lines, as I understand it. I want you to respond because the debate on this bill has been unbelievable. I'm going to read you a quote from the minority leader in the House, John Boehner, and then we're going to listen to a shot from the president right after that. The quote from Boehner, this spending was a direct order from Washington unions to Democratic leaders. That's red hot. And here's what the president said, reacting really to Boehner here.
I heard the Republican leader in the House say the other day that this is a special interest bill. And I suppose if America's children and the safety of our communities are your special interest, then it is a special interest bill. It will not add to our deficit. And the money will only go towards saving the jobs of teachers and other essential professionals.
Congressman, what do you make of that? I would say, come on, Mr. President, we all, both Republicans and Democrats, are concerned about our children and this generation of children and the next generation of children as well. And that's why the Republicans say that what we not need to do is to rush back to Washington, as Speaker Pelosi had us do today, to borrow more money, raise taxes, just to spend it and give it out to states that are not making the tough decisions that we need to make in order to provide quality education to our kids across this country.
How long is the spending going to go on? Because, you know, I keep seeing the wish list here, and it seems to get longer and longer every day. We just can't afford this.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You're exactly right. You know, I come from the great state of New Jersey, and in New Jersey, we have a new governor, Chris Christie, who is going in the right direction, and the majority of New Jerseyans support him, and the majority of all New Jerseyans support our schools and trying to have good quality schools, but they know we just can't continue the past pattern of taxing and spending. And so in New Jersey, Governor Chris Christie is saying, let's make the tough choices, let's try to rein things in, let's live the government's lives like you and I have to live our private lives within a budget. Washington now has just passed a bill, and I get this, to say that states that have made those tough choices, you have to take them all out and start spending that money whether you agreed to or not to, because that's the way this bill is written right now. Spending upwards of $10 billion in education from who knows where this money is going to come from.
Well, I think we do know where the money is coming from. We have a list of the places that this is coming from, and it's sort of all over the place, including food stamps, Department of Education, Department of Commerce, Department of Energy, tax relief for corporations. It's actually coming from places. It's really a shell game out there. We're taking money out of the Department of Education to put into teacher salaries. You know, it's very tough to understand. They've made it very complicated, but this really is moving money around the map.
Well, that's absolutely true. And, of course, at the end of the day, we really all know where the money is coming from. It's coming from you and me and everyone that's watching right now, because it's coming from the American taxpayer. The other place you can sort of say it's coming from is higher taxes on businesses. They say closed loopholes and what have you. And, in fact, it's coming on our corporations, our businesses, where around 22 million Americans work today in America, and those businesses are being taxed. So how can raising taxes on businesses, making less jobs down the road, hurting the growth of the economy, be any good for anyone, let alone the kids in the schools?
Congressman, I've got to get this question in because I think it's really important. You know, there are a lot of things happening across this country because the states are having such huge budget troubles. Colorado Springs, for example, they're turning off their street lights because they can't afford to keep them on. Teachers are being laid off. We're seeing that streets are being broken up because they can't be paved. We can't afford it. How do we pay these bills? Because a lot of these bills, it's just the cost of living, really. It's the cost of doing business day to day. How do we pay those bills?
Well, on a couple of points. First of all, you have to begin to abide by the Constitution and look to where the responsibilities on some of these things are. everything is not the responsibility of the federal government. Certain things, your local streets are the responsibilities of your local towns. Schools are the responsibility of the towns and the counties and the states. So that's where the responsibility should lie on these areas. And we should turn the responsibility and the accountability back to these areas and get Washington out of the picture. And if we did that, just like we're doing New Jersey's trying to be more responsible, live within our means, then we will have the dollars and cents and get it done. And secondly, the bigger issue real quick is if we can get rid of the uncertainty that's coming out of Washington on all these points, we can grow the economy again.
That's a question as well. Lots to talk about here. Congressman, thank you for your time.